Hello everyone, this is Dan from Sparring Partners and welcome in our brand new online gym. You probably seen this before, but right now we got a little upgrade here, so this gym is now fully functional. So me and my colleagues, we all will be able to deliver to you much better content, so I can't wait for it. And the first kind of series I want to present to you from this gym is a stability series. Who else is going to be than me, basketball player, someone who is dependent on his stability for his whole career. So what is it going to be about? I will present to you multiple short videos and we will go step by step through the theory and practical approach to the stability. So I will explain you what it means, why it's important, how you should start with it, and how you can apply that to your training. We will examine the different exercises using different tools I have prepared here, tools that you will be able to get either on our eShop or in our gym when the whole situation is over. But right now, make sure you watching, make sure you subscribing. If you have any comments, question, anything, just comment below and let's get to it. I will show you the basics of stability, why is it important, and what exercise you can apply to your training, and of course why you should apply those. So stability in general is maintaining a certain body position which is either natural for us, that means that we do not consume or we not expose our body to more distressors, and we do not waste our energy to maintain our body in a certain position. But that's more general description. Let's just talk like a normal people. So stability is basically maintaining in the spot that is very comfortable for us and we are not getting ourselves in danger in terms of getting hurt or getting overloaded. To be exact, like if we're standing on one leg, we try to stand in the way that we are able basically to chill in this position, be all right. Don't get in the position that we're getting in any danger. Once we lose our balance, we lose our stability, we're getting ourselves to danger. I'm not able to hold like this for a very long time. I'm putting my pressure on my knee and I can cause myself some serious damage. So basically stability begins on our feet, but it goes all over to our body, up to our head. Even turning our head in certain position when we're applying certain disbalances to our body can cause some serious damage, can affect the whole body segment. So for the beginning, it's very good to understand when the stability exercises, stability activations should be applied. Where is their place? So let's say we are not athletes. For me, I'm a basketball player, as you might already know. So I need a lot of stability. I need to do that almost in every training. But let's say I'm a regular guy who just wants to exercise to be healthy, to feel good. So what approach should I pick, right? So let's just say we know what type of training we're trying to apply. That's number one. Of course, the most important is I know the result of my diagnosis, of my diagnostics, and I know what issues I have. So for example, if my tripod, if my feet are flat, or I have valgus or varus of my knees, I know my stability, my balance cannot be in balance. Makes sense? So at first we need to understand and we need to respect our body, the way how we work, because someone just have issues with that without anything. He just didn't do anything. It's just how it is. It's our genetics. That's what we need to work with. And then it's a training performance, our training plan that we need to fit in. So just to get to some very functional tools that you can actually use like that, grab and use it right away. The stability exercises can be applied in 3 ways. Number 1 is activation. So if I know I will do some plyometrics, I will do some running, I will do something when I need to be focused on remaining stable, I need to do that as an activation before, so our body is prepared and ready to, you know, give the best performance as possible. Number 2 is during the training as a direct tool, as a direct functional segment of the training, which will help us improve our stability in the future. And number 3, after training, which is at first it can work as a training under the pressure, under the fatigue, which is very beneficial for athletes, or it can be basically as a filler, as something that we can do after training, because even though we are tired, we're still able to work on it properly. Okay, now let's get to it. So the most basic, let's say, balance exercise. Right now we're going to be focused mainly on our lower body, on our lower limbs, because we're trying to work with these as much as possible, because that's basically, as a regular person, that's what I need the most. But of course I will mention some above and upper body stability exercise as well. So at first, the most basic exercise is just standing on one leg. You can just try that. Probably most of you will do just fine. But once we're getting very good at it, some people might struggle with this, and that's totally fine. Don't be mad at yourself or something. It's just how it is. Once we know that both our feet, both our legs are have kind of same balance, we can try to progress to that. I very like this exercise, which is called a clock, and it's basically just touching my second feet, my feet that's in the air, as I would go by the clock, and I will go just all the hours. I will just do a touch. And at first I can do it just like this, without flexing my knee, just to try how I'm doing. I did it pretty well. Now, another progression, I can just try to go further and further away. And like this, it may sound weird, but right now, my feet, my ankle, knee is working as hell. We probably, you know, it's very simple for us, but right now, our body is kind of like getting into the mood, like, something is happening, you know, there is a slight disbalance. I better be ready for something worse coming. This is how it works. Basic activation. So once we get right here, we can get it into higher progression. We can go even to slight flexion, or even kind of like a half split squat. So we can even go like this. We can just work with it. It's probably the most basic one. I would definitely progress even more, even though you are struggling with this, because this can be kind of boring. So for you, it's very good to apply and start with I call it ankle walks, because we are focusing on our ankles, but it's actually good for our stability and for basic activation. So we start just by standing on our toes like that, and we can either walking up front and backwards. We can walk from side to side. We can do either circles. And right now we're activating our feet, we're activating our ankles, and we are working with some disbalance. And you know, right now I'm still working. I don't need anything else. You know, it's just me and the floor. You know, and floor and God, Mother Gravity. Once we get this, we get the same thing on our heels, like this. So we're on our heels and we're just doing the same thing, trying to remain balanced. We get to our outwards feet. We go like this. We can walk on a line, upwards, backwards. And my most favorite, I kind of feel weird when I'm doing this, but it's important as well. As you can see, my ankles are not as mobile as probably yours will be, but it's still pretty big pressure on my ligaments. So I'm stretching them and trying to activate them. Okay, so once we're doing this, our feet should be activated. So now we work on our feet a little bit, on our ankles. We did a little clock session. Now there's the first step to get activated. Now we should be able to get in running a little bit, even through training. It's very short, it's very brief, but you know, you gotta wait for another video to learn more about stability. For right now, this is all that I have for you. So make sure you comment if you have any questions. Make sure you subscribe if you didn't do that yet. And just to close this whole video session, what all this should give you, this what I just done. At first, it's a lot about our ankles, because right now, as we did all that, we basically stretched and activated the reactivity of our ankles. So when we were gonna be running and we're gonna face some disbalances on the ground, our ankles gonna be ready to react. You know, they're not gonna be rigid, they're gonna be flexible, they're gonna be ready to react in a situation when we can sprain our ankle or get hurt. At the same time, we did that little squat exercises when we engage the whole lower limb together with our hips and with our whole body remaining posture. So right now we should be ready to go and run. Of course, we need a little warm up before, maybe a little SMR, but you already know that because you are watching our videos. If you do not know what I just said, look at our previous videos, and I can't wait to see you in the episode 2.